Usman versus Leon. You know, guys, I can't let this go. I want to. I'm trying to. I've come to you guys 5 times about this match. I thought I was going to come to you once. I thought it was going to be over. We're going to talk about the head kick. In case any of you missed it, you'd hear it heard. It's like shoot the messenger. But it's fun to be the messenger that's giving interesting news. Like if you guys didn't see the fight and you heard it from me first, you'll remember that. 10 years from now, you'll remember that old Chael told you about this huge upset when Kamaru Usman went down. I mean to be done. But there's parts of this story that aren't being told. There's parts of the story that aren't coming out. I saw something like this one time in my life. It was George St-Pierre versus Matt Serra. George loses. By the way, on home soil in Canada, it was massive in our sport. Jaw-dropping. They rematched them, and I mean fast. So that story really never had time to simmer. Matt Serra never really got that 15 minutes. He never really got to bask in the glow. It was right back into the gym. Many people congratulated him. A lot of people tell him it was an upset. By the time they walked out there to do the match again, George was a 2.5-1 favorite. How do you be a 2.5-1 favorite over a guy that just smoked you? Right, I mean, but it's one of those things. It's a very fair question. I had a similar spot to insert myself with Anderson Silva. I told everybody before we fought, this isn't even going to be close. He and I are not even competitive. Not only will I beat him, this isn't even going to be close. It wasn't. In all fairness, it wasn't. I've got 3 10-8 rounds in my life. 2 of them were in the match with him. But the outcome ended up being what people thought. And when we rematched, Anderson was a 2.5-1 favorite. Now, let me just stay on the topic of Anderson. Possibly nobody's followed his career closer, but Anderson goes in there with Chris Weidman. Anderson loses and drops the belt to Chris Weidman. In the moment that Chris Weidman hit Anderson and put him down, Anderson had his hands down. People said that he was being cocky, that he was mocking Weidman. They rematched. Anderson was a 2.5-1 favorite. The problem I had with that is in the first fight when Weidman put him down, and yes, Anderson's hands were down, that was exactly 7.5 minutes into a contest where 7.5 minutes of the contest was won and dominated by Weidman. Weidman absolutely dominated it and then finished him. People didn't remember that. They only remembered that when Weidman landed the shot that changed the champion's hands, Anderson had his hands down. I bring this to you because there's a lot more in Leon versus Usman, and nobody spoke of it. Kamaru is apparently too much of a gentleman, too. In conjunction with, it appears Kamaru is going to get the rematch, so there is no need for it. But Leon cheated in that match a whole bunch of times. That is not a headline or a topic that is out there anywhere. I do not want to be the one to bring that to you. I'm a guy that operates in the gray. I'm not giving him a hard time. I'm just talking about for the story to be told and for the story to be told accurately. Nobody's wanting to touch that. Leon was frustrated in positions and had no way out of positions to the extent that he cheated repeatedly. Not once, not an accident, not the ref didn't see it. The ref saw it, the ref warned him, the ref saw it again, the ref stepped in, the ref broke the act 5 and 6 times. But Kamaru Usman has never called Leon a cheater. I mean, imagine thinking of that from that perspective, if you will. Kamaru Usman is very likely to smother you and change you when he's on top of you. He is most likely to finish a fight from that position, particularly when he has you pinned up against the fence. Kamaru did 3 times. Leon changed the position and got out of that 3 times by cheating. So now you're in a 5th round that you never should have been in, potentially. You take a kick in a fight that you were winning, that you were trying to finish, and you had the position you needed to get said finish, and the opponent cheated 3 times. Am I being a jerk about it? Some of you are going to think that. Some of you are going to think that very much, and some of you are even going to correct me and say that I should not call that cheating. I don't make the word up. The referee does, and the referee called it cheating. The referee said that it was illegal. The referee operated within the scope that he has to remedy that situation and discipline that situation, and he did. 5 times Leon cheated. 3 times he was called on it. I don't know how many times he grabbed the fence, quite frankly. When I watch a fight, I don't watch for that. My eyes, they just don't go there. The black of the glove, it blends in with the cage. I can't see it very well anyway. And I caught 5 of them. And the referee acknowledged 3. 3 times taking Kamaru Usman out of a position of which he earned, of which he's dominant, in a fight that he's trying to end, creating a round that perhaps never would have existed, which led to a kick that took the strap off of him. Everything I just said is accurate. How hard do you want to hammer that, and how much do you want to dwell on it? How much do you want to focus on it? I mean, some of these stories, you just rinse them and you redo them. We go and we redo this match, regardless of home territory. We're still going to be confronted with the evidence that we just saw. Not only did we see these 2 guys doing the same thing at this exact same weight class 5 years ago, we saw them 5 days ago. We have a very good understanding of, from a martial arts standpoint, who is better than who. So if we go and we redo this, and you get the Sarah and St-Pierre, and it all gets fixed. I mean, Sarah and St-Pierre is possibly the only duo in history that called for a trilogy fight, and it never happened. It never even got discussed. How do they both beat each other by stoppage and you don't go to fight? That's just not a thing that we do. But for some reason, that story, it moved along so quickly. We got those venues booked. We got the new cycle. We fill up an arena. We pop the popcorn. We ran those boys out there. I feel to this day, the Sarah and St-Pierre story not only is incomplete, I feel that it's not even told accurately. I don't begrudge anything that Leon did. Leon is the champion of the world. I'm sharing for you Usman being a gentleman. And perhaps one reason that he is such a sportsman is it looks as though everything's going his way. It looks as though he's not going to have to go fight for an opportunity to try to get that title back. But imagine he did. Imagine he got thrown into the contenders pool. Imagine we pushed that aside. We said, hey, listen, sorry about your luck, but we got a fight coming up. It's on September 10th. It's Diaz Chimaev. It's the #1 contenders match. I mean, we have to talk to you later. Really, really sorry you took that hit. Imagine if you're Usman then. You're going, hey, wait just a second. I kept my mouth shut. I didn't say anything. This was said in front of the world. I didn't have one commentator come up and speak up for me. I didn't have one thread on the underground forum. I didn't have one fan take to social media and point out what you all saw, which was my opponent cheated 5 times, got called on at 3, and stopped the most dominant position that I personally have, which led to a 5th round where I never should have been anyway. I'm on my feet to get kicked. We were never on our feet to get kicked had he not cheated to beat the position 5 times in a 4-round contest. It's important that all of those stories come out. It's important that all of those details come out. Leon learned a lot in this fight. When Leon goes to prepare for Kamaru again, he's going to have some confidences. He's going to have a confidence that he can take a shot, just by example. Kamaru hit him hard. Kamaru went to the body. Leon's going to have a confidence, hey, when I'm in this area, I'm okay. Hey, I need to be a little bit busier. Hey, I need to not back up. I need to stand my ground. I backed up and didn't stand my ground or come forward because I was so worried that he would come in and capture me and drag me to the ground. When he gets me to the ground, he's awful heavy. I got to have ways to get up. I mean, there's things that he can learn and that he can draw from that he can take from here. But there's also another side, which is he's going to be confronted with this reality that aside from one position, right? You guys all think that Leon won and dominated the first round. He won a position, one. He hit a trip which went into a mount. When that position was over, the round was over. It was that one position. And then it was a very dominant fight. This wasn't a close contest. And one guy cheated 5 times. It's a strong word. It's a strong word to say cheated. What other word do you want to use? You want to water it down? Chael's being too hard and calling him a cheater? Oh, okay, water it down. What other word do you want to use? He broke a rule? He had an infraction? He was warned? He violated? What word would you like to use? I'm not looking to be dramatic about it. I'm saying let's just tell the whole story. Kamaru Usman did not. He took the high road. If we're going to tell the story, let's tell it all.